Kia ora, and welcome to another How To Plus Q&A event. My name is Anna-Marie Fanthorpe, and I'll be your host today. Today we have two special guests with us from Fareharbor. Camille and Yulia are going to be talking about capitalizing on your online sales. So we are looking forward to delving into this topic, and it's going to be a great session. So today is our first session that we are streaming live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and we're here on Zoom as usual. We're super excited to be able to bring this content to all the different platforms of your choice to make your life a little bit easier to tune in and grow your business. So there's a few ways that you can participate. If you're with us on Zoom, you can use the Q&A function, which has an anonymous feature. You can also use the chat function. On Facebook, you can use the comment section. And what will happen is all the comments that you're putting on the various platforms will all go to one hub, and I'll be able to monitor them throughout the session. So do feel free to pop your questions in on those functions and get them answered by the experts. It's a really great opportunity for you to make these sessions bespoke to your business. And that's why we have the experts on. So I guess that's about it from me, because you'll be able to rewatch this at any time on those various platforms. So Camille and Yulia, thanks so much for joining us today on Digital Boost Q&A.
Thank you so much, Anna-Marie. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for tuning in today and to be here with us. Yulia and I are really excited to share this presentation with you today. And we are going to try and help you capitalize on your online sales and show you how to increase your sales by optimizing the full user journey with Fareharbor. But before we jump in, my name is Camille, and I just would like to introduce myself really quickly. I've been working in the tourism industry for 5 years, and I absolutely love my role as account manager here at Fareharbor. And I really hope this presentation will bring you some ideas to increase your conversions and sales, because that's all that we want at the end of the day. Yulia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Camille. Hello, everyone. So excited to see everyone here today. So my name is Yulia. I've been in the industry since 2013. And now with Fareharbor, so also an account manager. So what I'm looking forward to today is for you to get some actionable steps and to get some tips and tricks on how to increase your online conversions and to take them to your daily practice. So that's our goal today.
Fantastic. I'm going to turn off my video and let you guys drive. I'm looking forward to the session. I'll be in the background just taking a look at the chat functions and making sure that your questions get answered. So do pop them in.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's continue. So when we're talking about a booking journey, as I already mentioned, by the end of the session, you will get an understanding what an online customer's journey looks like, from dreaming about the experience or about the product and planning to purchase it, to sharing with their friends and family. You will also get actionable steps on each of this stage that will help you to optimize your setup and stand out from the competition. But first things first, let's have a look at where does the booking journey begin. Well, you probably know that nowadays everyone explores for activities to do or things to buy online on various platforms. So it can be Google. It's so easy to go online and just Google something and find out what you would like to do in the future. Also social media platforms. And of course, once everything has been kind of researched, customers arrive to your website. So we will look onto ways of optimizing your website and what steps you can take today. So first, what does the search actually look like? So when people look for an activity to do, for example, boat tours in Christchurch or a product to purchase online, they type into Google research, as you can see up here, and the first 4 results are always paid advertisements. And it's good to note that there is no way for you to overrank them organically, just because they're obviously paid for. However, today we will be concentrating on organic efforts and what you can do to be in front of your competition over here. So after paid search results, we have organic search results, and they are mostly influenced by your efforts in SEO, in search engine optimization. And we have some data around how much traffic is received by search results on 2nd and 3rd page of Google. But let me actually ask you a question. How often do you go to the 2nd or to the 3rd page of search results? Well, probably not very often. Me personally, I always just scan through results on the 1st page. And there is data that shows us that 90% of all traffic to the websites receive this traffic volume from just the 1st page of Google search results. That's why it's so important for you to be aware of this and also try and put some efforts into the SEO. So what does the actual search result looking like? As you see here, so it's usually a link, then there is a title of the page that's it is linking to, and then there is a description. So these are actually elements of your website. They're called metadata, and you have a direct effect on them. So you can go to the backend of your website, find the section for the SEO and update your title tag, which is the title of every page, and meta description, which is what the page is about. So this is not shown on your website, but Google takes this information and puts it into search result so that people who browse online have an understanding of what the page is about. And some tips and tricks here of what the title tags and meta description should be. First of all, they should be always relevant to the content of the page and unique for every single page. This is a key thing. Then if you look at meta description, it's important to put keywords and location into both, into title tag and meta description. It always should be very encouraging and kind of advertising, because people see it and it's important for them to know what it is about, but also encourage your potential customers to click on the link and go onto your website. So the next element of a search engine on Google is a Google My Business profile. You probably encountered it before. You probably heard about ways to optimize it. But I just would like to put a few suggestions here. So first of all, make sure the name of your business is correct. All the details such as name, address, and phone number. Because what Google actually does, they take this information from your website and they cross-check on every platform that you appear. And if it is consistent across all the platforms, such as social media, Google, your website, TripAdvisor, for example, it gives you a little boost in search rankings. So make sure name, address, and phone number are consistent. Also, you can see that there are photographs. Photographs are good in terms of your future customers can really imagine what the activity or what the product is like. So it's always a good idea to place, let's say, your staff to place photographs of your staff interacting with your customers, of your office or of the surroundings or of the product or the activity itself. You can also find some reviews here. And what we can say for sure is it's always important to answer all reviews, be it positive or negative. From my experience, I can say that answering negative reviews is even more important, because you show to everyone online, not only to the person who you answer in the review to, but to everyone, that you care and that you are taking steps to turn this negative experience around into a positive one. All right, so the search and dreaming and planning doesn't only end on Google. Nowadays, everyone is so tech savvy and they're using various social media platforms to inspire themselves for a future holiday, for example. There was a research by Facebook in 2018 that showed that 87% of all travelers are looking for the inspiration for their future holidays on Facebook and Instagram. And it's no wonder, because those platforms are so visually driven. It's so easy to go on there to look for an activity to do, or place to visit, or product to buy and get inspired. So we are now looking at a few strategies. What can you do on social media to stand out in front of your competition? First things first, we would recommend to sit down with your team and think about your strategy. Number one, think about your target audience. And you probably already know who your target audience are from your customers, whether it's a family-oriented tour, or perhaps it's a couples activity, or an individuals or a school group. It will also help you to find your voice of interacting on social media platforms, to find topics to touch on. So once you defined who your audience is on social media, think of which platforms they're consuming their social media on, whether it's mostly Facebook or Instagram, or perhaps they go for their inspiration on Pinterest. Next step would be to define your goal. And there is a number of goals that you can achieve with the help of social media. So you can bring awareness about your business by sharing some behind the stage, for example, or you can encourage customers to make a booking with you or to buy a product by including a call to action into the caption of a post or of a video, for example. So I think once you have your strategy and these 3 steps figured out, you can think of, okay, what are we going to do day to day? And here are some tips. So first of all, think about the content. You probably heard a saying that content is the key, And what it means is both Google and all social media platforms are really looking to serve good content to users online. So what it means for you, you already know who your audience is. Look at your past posts on Facebook, on Instagram, for example, and see what works for you. Maybe you can find some learnings there. We would also recommend experimenting with video, just because it's such a prominent format nowadays, and it's really pushed by all platforms out there, be it Instagram or Facebook, and everyone loves watching videos. It really brings that visualization to your activity or product. And then, of course, it's important to be consistent in your efforts on social media, and content calendar can help you here. So what is a content calendar? Basically, it's a plan of your posts, blogs, videos on various platforms throughout a month. So again, you can sit down with your team, and perhaps there is a person in your team who is good with socials or who can take great photos and videos. And you can sit down together and decide, okay, this week we will be talking about just the activity. The next week we'll do some educational posts, and so on and so forth. So I think it's important to remember on all your efforts, be consistent, be true to yourself, and be true to your audience. So what can you do today to make sure you're standing out in front of your competition online? First of all, if you do have social media accounts such as Facebook or Instagram, make sure that you are on a business profile, not on your personal profile, just because being on a business one really helps you in terms of the analytics. So you can go to the back end and have a look what works for you, when is the best time to post, when your audience is online, what type of content they like. So switch to business profile. Number two, have a look at your bio. Make sure it has all the appropriate information. So it has the name of your business, it has the keywords, it has the location. And lastly, it has your business webpage. So it has your URL with a call to action. It can be book now or learn more or visit for more details. Make sure it's encouraging, short and sweet. All right, so now that customers found you, they land on your website. So there is various data around the devices, for example. We know that mobile traffic is kind of growing right now. And from our experience in Fareharbor, we see that not just 50%, but more than 60% of all bookings come from a mobile device or a tablet. And that's no wonder. Everyone is life is so fast-paced nowadays that everyone is just doing things on the go. And that's why it's so important to have a very well mobile optimized website, because majority of people are really kind of disappointed, I can say, sometimes to find a site that's not mobile optimized, and they can just leave their website without even giving it a chance. So the content can be good, but if it's not mobile optimized, they may just drop off and go to another business. So what does it mean to have a mobile optimized website? First of all, have a look at your website on different devices, such as desktop, tablet, mobile, and make sure the design is responsive. What it means is that the content basically adjusts to the device it is shown on. The next one, make sure it is simple. So the top of the page where customers are landing, you can simplify by, for example, using a hamburger menu as in this example, and hiding all those menu options in just that small section in the right-hand corner. It is also helpful to design top loading pages. And what it means is when customers just land on the website, they need to have the understanding of what the website is about, not only verbally, but visually. That's why placing a photograph that truly represents your business is quite important. Make sure announcements such as promotion or perhaps COVID-related information is up the top as well. So the name of your business, of course, should be on the top. Don't put it on the second scroll. And if it's a call to action button, just put it there as well. Some other suggestions here can be getting rid of pop-ups and some ads that sometimes you know that you need to click that little close cross. So some people get really irritated by that, and ask yourself a question: is it really necessary for me to have that pop-up or to have that advertisement on the website? Because it can eventually harm your traffic. Buttons should be quite big for a mobile, and of course the font, it should be larger than on a desktop website. All right, so we have finished the website section and what to do to stand in front of your competition. But 3 things that I would like you to do today, very easy, very actionable. First of all, go to the back end of your website and have a look at your metadata. Is it relative and is it unique for every single page? Second of all, go to your social media profiles and check that you're on a business profile, not on a personal one. And lastly, perform a mobile website speed test. And there is a number of tools out there, but Google provides a great one, which is called Think with Google, where you can put the URL of your website, it will test it, and it will also provide you with some suggestions. So I hope this section was helpful. Camille will now go into the next step of the booking journey.
Thank you, Yulia. And yeah, we are now in the booking phase. So your customer is now dreaming, hopefully, and already planning to book your product. But how can we help your customer to book quicker and more easily? Well, we have one word to share. And it has to be the word easy. Your book form needs to be maintained, and that's part of our role here at Fareharbor as account managers to help you maintain it. So on the next slide, first of all, it needs to be easy to find on your website, whether it's on desktop or on mobile. A clear Book Now button must be showing up when landing on your site. Also on mobile, a floating button is best practice on mobile, especially, but also on desktop. And we also make sure that it's on every page. Just so everybody knows, a floating Book Now button is a button that will follow you around. So when you're scrolling down on your phone, the button will scroll down with you. Think of it this way, like the Book Now button must be the most visible button on your website when landing on it. On the next slide, we're gonna see that it's also needs to be easy to search on your website. Featuring your most popular tours, we encourage it a lot, and make it easy for your customers to find you and to find what they're looking for. And once they are finally in your book form, on the next slide, we're going to see that we have different practices to follow. So the first one would be to segment your products as much as possible. It's really important, and you can do this if you have more than 5 or 6 activities, because if you have 20 different activities, it might be overwhelming in the book form, because you might have a very long list to scroll down, and it will help your customer to navigate through your offering. You can see this example on the right-hand side of the page, hopefully. With all the different offers, you can see that they are gathered together. So you have the public beach ride. So I know I'm going to be on a beach, and the combo rides, the private lessons. So they all combine together. The titles and headlines are also essential to differentiate your products and to give as much information as possible. Customers want to feel like they have looked through everything you have to offer without actually going through it. Moving on, your products need to be easy to use once they are in the book form. Very simple facts here. Number one, you'll need high quality images, and we recommend a minimum of 4 images per activity. There are still a number of clients that have not very high quality images. So yeah, we highly recommend to really focus on this. Number 2 is to have a very good and detailed item description. I'll show you on the next slide a bit later with what a good item description looks like. And number 3, having a calendar with lots of availability. So as account managers, we actually check all of this for you to have the best setup possible. These simple steps are essential to increase your conversion rate and obviously have the best user journey possible. So as I was just saying, I just wanted to show you what a good item description looks like. So I'm not going to spend much time on this slide, but it's just to let you know that it must include a hook, for example, an about section, inclusions of the tour, and any additional information you may have. But again, this is something that we as account managers at Fareharbor help you with. So we can collaborate on all of these elements I just talked about. Now on the next slide, it needs to be easy to purchase, obviously, and having the simplest setup is always a winner. And in this case, the lowest ticket types you have, the better. So a ticket type is, it can be adults, children, any family ticket type, which we also call customer type. And as you can see on the right-hand side here, we had to rebuild the entire setup for this client as it was very overwhelming and really impacting his sales because there was just too many and it was not simple at all. And on the left-hand side, just an example of what a good ticket type look like. It has only 4 ticket types here. You can see adults, children, concession, families, very straightforward, easy to understand, easy to book for your customers. Now, another thing that you should focus on is to minimize your custom fields. So what we call a custom field is, for example, any additional information that you need from your clients, from your customers. So full name, or it can be, about size or age or anything like that. So we found that if you minimize your custom fields, it's much easier for them to book. And as you can see below, I just put an example here of a client that has only 2 custom fields, a digital and video pack, and how did you hear about us custom field. Very easy, very simple. So yeah, on the next slide, if you have any campaigns going on, like a promo code campaign, it needs to be easy to redeem. And obviously at Fareharbor, we're going to help you set this up so we can work alongside you, having this campaign set up and have this little pop-up, little custom field popping up. If you have a promo code or voucher, please enter it here. It's just something to make sure we have and it's working well. And finally, on the next slide, try to minimize text on the checkout page as much as possible. Just remember of what Yulia said before, that most of your traffic will actually come from a mobile device. So the more text you put, obviously more scroll down work there will be. So try to minimize text. And if all these steps are mastered, well, the user accesses the checkout page in only 3 clicks, which is great. And it's exactly what we want to achieve. So on this slide here, I just put a summary of what a healthy book form looks like, what a high converting book form looks like. So we talked about clear call to action with the book now button, segmentation of your products, a very detailed item description, high quality images, detailed headlines, and a simple checkout. So with all these steps, you are not only optimizing the booking phase, of your user journey, but you are also offering a great customer service experience, which can result in positive reviews and increase your sales. So how do account managers monitor your accounts? How do we work? How do we do all of this? So we work through different steps. We have clear guidelines to follow, and we start with doing checkpoints, checking how you are performing, or in all of your setup pretty much. So whether it is your website or your Fareharbor dashboard, your Fareharbor book form, we go through all of these steps, and then we identify and prioritize the alerts, where we identify growth opportunities. And sometimes it's going to involve other teams at Fareharbor to fix these issues. And so we involve other teams to fix these issues. And finally, with the client's approval, sorry, if you can just go back, Yulia, yeah, thank you. With the client's approval, we implement all of our ideas and proactive work. And just a quick mention that all of this service that we offer is free for our clients. And now on the next slide, I just wanted to show you a quick example of a booking flow before and after an account manager worked on this account. So before, the booking flow was a bit messy, if I must say. So there were some blurry images, missing images, and not looking so great. And on the right-hand side, you can see, hopefully you can see well, that all the images are high quality. There's no missing images anymore. So now that we saw about the booking phase, now we're going to go into the experience phase. Well, this is where you shine, pretty much, where you do your magic with your customers. The experience itself largely depends on you, but we can also help with this on a software point of view, obviously. And in fact, we have what we call the manifest. So what is the manifest? Well, for us, it's really key to provide a flawless experience. It's basically a page that is very customizable, where you can see all the bookings for the day. You can check in your guests and have a summary of pickup locations for your drivers, if obviously your activity depends on it. On the next slide, I just put a screenshot of what the manifest looks like. So you will have access to all of the availabilities for the day, the name of your customers, and this is something that we can explain in more details if you request for a demo. We also have the Fareharbor application, and if you can't be, it's very useful tool if you can't be in the office, you know, checking in people, and you need to be outside checking in people, so you can be on your mobile. You can also create bookings, handle them, check payment statuses, and look at your manifest to get through the day. So it's just a very easy application that you can have in your pocket all day. And finally, a few tips from us to give an amazing experience to your guests. You can start exploring to cater for special needs, such as disabilities or special occasions, such as anniversaries, birthdays. So this is something that we can set up within Fareharbor with different options like custom fields. But what customers also love, and what we found within our clientele and portfolio, is that customers also love to know your local tips. And it's something that will make them feel special and grateful, and also it will help to create this emotional connection with your customers. So now that we went through the experience phase, the final phase, the sharing phase. So I'm going to show you how Fareharbor can help optimize this sharing phase of the user journey. So on the next slide, yeah, we actually always think that the user journey finishes when the experience ends or when they leave your premises. But in fact, there is a lot you can do to keep the momentum going and conclude a great customer experience. the follow-up email is a key element, a key component of your communication, I would say. And when done right, a follow-up email can keep your company top of mind with your customers. So this slide here is a graphic to show you when to send that email. So the same day appears to be the best time with 91% open rate, which is quite high. And next, what should it say, your follow-up email? Well, a few best practices to share here with you. It showed that reminding your customer of the experience they just had, of course. You can also include other activities they might like, including social links and review links. And we need to be very strategic when it comes to review links, because, for example, you might be big on TripAdvisor, but you might be smaller on Google. Would it be better for your business to grow on Google, vice versa? Just some questions to ask yourselves. And on the next slide, just a quick slide to encourage you to share more content on this follow-up email, such as referral code. It's a great way to have returning customers, or maybe they can share this referral code with family and friends. You can also cross-sell different products to have more returning travelers or customers, and also feature their social media posts on your social channels. So yeah, this is it. This is a big overview of what we do as account managers here at Fareharbor. And I hope we were clear enough in this presentation and that you learned a few things to improve your conversions. We know it might be a lot to take in at the moment, but hopefully this was useful. And yeah, if you have any questions now, we'd love to hear them.
This has been fantastic. I just wanted to say I loved how you just really got in there and covered everything. It was so thorough, honestly. It was just brilliant. And just really easy steps. I think some of the things that I really loved about it was making sure that it was mobile optimized, because I think that, that's something that you can easily select when you're viewing your website, when you're having in your website and making updates. You can choose to see it as somebody on the mobile, because honestly, that's what we use all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is definitely. And we're really trying to help our customers to realize this. And this is something that sometimes people don't think about. And actually, more than 60% book from mobile. So it is crucial, essential to have a website that is mobile optimized.
Yeah,
I think also having a website for this long, an operator or a business owner doesn't realize or sometimes forget to look at it with new eyes. So I think this is when we come into play, having a look at the website from a different perspective, from a fresh perspective.
So you mentioned metadata, and some of us might not be familiar with that terminology. What is metadata?
Mm-hmm. Good question. So metadata is the element of your website that is not kind of visible to your customers per se, those who are browsing your website, but they're really important for Google. For example, title tag. When you hover over the tab of your website, you will see the title tag show up. So it's not that visible for the customer. But what Google actually does, it takes that information and uses in search results. So all the search results pages consist of metadata taken from the website. That's why it is so important to have keywords there, to have location there, to have call to action or phrases that encourage emotional response, because this will help your business, your link essentially, to get a click from a potential customer. So think of metadata as your way to shine in Google.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I really appreciate that, because I think that we have so much jargon. There's so many words out there, as sometimes as small business owners, if we haven't been brought up in kind of this world, it's like, I don't know what any of this stuff is. And you just explained that so simply. And now I know exactly what you're talking about. So it's fantastic. Thank you.
Of course.
And I did pop, you mentioned that Google Think site to check out the speed of your website. And I've actually popped that in the chat here I've actually popped it in on all of the platforms. So no matter where you're watching, have a look in the comments below, and you can use that link to check your speed. I know that, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but just last week we were discussing a site called SEMrush, which allows you to look at, the words, probably some of those words you would use in your metadata. Is that right?
Yeah.
Keywords.
Keywords. Do you want to share about the SEMrush and how familiar we are with it, Camille?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, it's funny you bring this up, because SEMrush is actually a tool that we use as account managers. We tend to help our clients with their SEO, search engine optimization, and sometimes they ask us to run a few keyword projects for them, or finding out if which position they are on Google with this particular keywords, with which particular keyword should I work on, and we actually use SEMrush quite a lot actually, so to run this SEO projects.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you didn't see the session last week with Marketing Minds, and went into using SEMrush, and we just looked at a couple of industries, and it pops up and it tells you, where you would appear on the search and how many other people are in that industry, or how many people are looking for that in a search, and, how many people you're competing against to get visibility. And it's really cool. I've popped it in the chat so you can go and check it out yourself. She did recommend, she said, you guys probably have a professional plan because you use it so much, but she did mention that, if you were just a small business, like, just use the free. You don't need to buy it. Hey, look, we love free for small businesses. So, so I've popped that in the chat there, and I've popped it in on LinkedIn, and I'll do it on YouTube and Facebook here in a second. But I just want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. I think that's it. I think that sometimes when you cover things so proficiently, there aren't questions, because we actually just get exactly what we need. And then we go, right, I've got these actionable steps where I can take it to the next, I can start to work on these and then maybe watch this again. What else did they say? So I really appreciate you guys being so efficient and proficient in the way that you've delivered this material, giving us a lot of food for thought and things to work on.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much, Anna-Marie. And if you have any questions, we can, you can send us an email, and we'll be very happy to help you with any questions.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Camille. Thanks, Yulia. Have a fabulous day, everyone. We'll see you the same time, same places. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to be talking about email marketing, I think, content. I'm just going to double check that. Yeah, we're going to be talking about email marketing frequency, content, and planning. And I guess that's exactly what you guys were talking about, those steps after, right? Making sure that you're staying connected to people you've already, engaged with, because those are easier to keep going and to get them back in on your site and doing some more stuff with you. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Kakite, have a fabulous day over there. I hope you have some good weather. We've been having lots of rain, so the sun is out. I'm hoping to get out while that's still happening today. So no matter where you are in New Zealand, Kakite, everyone, have a fabulous day, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I always do the wrong hand. There.